It's better. The Nun 2 is a brand new 2023 horror film directed by Michael Chavez, starring Taissa Farmiga and Storm Reed. And yeah, I didn't really have a bunch of anticipation for this movie. I only ever saw like the first 30-second trailer for it. The first Nun is not one of my favorite horror movies of all time. And I honestly just feel like the Conjuring franchise has just run its course as much as I love the first two movies. But I still checked it out because I've seen all these movies, so why not check this one out? Uh, let's go ahead and start this review off with the good. And right off the bat, I do enjoy this movie. It's much better than the first one. First of all, Taissa Farmiga in this movie, really great here. I really loved her performance as Sister Irene. She was a strong suit of the first Nun movie, and it was really great to see her back in the role. And honestly, I feel like she was a little better in this movie. She gets a lot more character development. She gets a lot more awesome moments within the film, and she just really does a great job all around throughout the movie. So really liked her. Storm Reed is a new character in this movie, and this is an actress that's really gotten on my radar lately. She was in The Suicide Squad for a couple scenes, and then she was the main character in Missing, which was a very surprisingly great film earlier this year. And then now she's in this movie, and she was really great here as well. Keep it up with casting her in films because she just does a really great job every time she's on screen. And I really love her chemistry with Taissa Farmiga as well. Just really, really great stuff between those two. Then you get the title character, the nun, and yeah, it's a demon nun. I mean, what do you expect? The nun has probably been my favorite of the Conjuring villains throughout this franchise, and Bonnie Aarons' physical performance as the nun, just as great here as it was in The Conjuring 2 and in the first Nun movie. Once again, she doesn't get a bunch of screen time, but it was still great when she was on screen. She had much more of a commanding presence here than she did in the first Nun, and she gets a little more screen time in this movie than in the first movie, so really gotta give appreciation to the fact that they gave the Nun more to do in the Nun 2. It gets some pretty good scares, nothing groundbreaking, but some pretty good scares here and there. Some of them are pretty generic, yes, but I still enjoyed the atmosphere here. It's not anywhere nearly as atmospheric as the first Nun movie, which I feel has the best atmosphere of the entire Conjuring franchise. But I still really, really enjoyed the atmosphere, and the set design was really great with all the places that they go in this movie. And you just get a great score adding to the atmosphere. As with most of these movies, the score is just really great, and this movie's no exception. And that's about all for the good. On to the bad. And there's a couple things here that just still don't work for me. First of all, I didn't really care much about any of the other characters in this movie. You get the character of Maurice coming back from the first one. He's supposed to be a main focus of the story, unlike the first one where he just shows up at the beginning and then again at the end. Still didn't really care much for this character. No hate to the actor, he did a good enough job, but I just didn't care for the character, especially knowing what's going to happen to the character in later films because of what we see at the end of the first Nun and in The Conjuring. This character is pretty much on a dead-end course. We know what's going to happen to him eventually. So I just feel like it's kind of pointless to keep using this character, but either way, just didn't care much for the use of Maurice. And also, this movie is way too long for a Conjuring spin-off film. This movie could have been about 20 minutes shorter, and nothing of value would have been lost. Also, the way they defeated the nun at the end of this movie, you thought the way they defeated it at the end of the first Nun was stupid? This is even stupider. That's all I'm going to say about it. Uh, See the movie for yourself if you want to know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I did not like the way they defeated the nun at the end of this movie. But that's about all for the bad. On to the final thoughts. I did enjoy The Nun too. I didn't think I would, but probably because I went in with such low expectations, I ended up really enjoying it. The Nun 2 is surprisingly a lot of fun. It's much better than the first Nun film, and I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. So that was my thoughts on The Nun 2. Have you seen this movie? Let me know down in the comments what you thought about it if you have seen it. As always, if you enjoy this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.